After seeing our Chicago Bulls play 2 preseason games, a lot of people have grown more frustrated with Chicago Bull Patrick Williams in some of his performances, including the last two we've seen this preseason. My question on today's episode is, how patient will the Chicago Bulls be when it comes to Patrick Williams? And y'all know we're going to talk about it, break it all down, but you got to hear the music first.
Cognac, gang.
Shy Bulls podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm holding it down on today's daily episode. If you're tuned in with me for the first time, welcome in. Hit that subscribe button. For those that are returning, our family members that are returning, welcome back. We appreciate you. But let's get into the content. We seen the Chicago Bulls on Saturday night go against the Memphis Grizzlies in what resulted in a loss, but a very decent and intriguing game, to say the least, when it came to the Chicago Bulls. But one person that we was hoping to see or get something out of, to hope that he was going to be better than in game one, is Patrick Williams did not look particularly well in the preseason game one, or let alone game two. And we got new information surrounding Patrick Williams that might continue to piss Bulls fans off. But we do know that when these players, they sign these deals, the organization extend players, the expectations of said players will rise, especially when you see M's for a number of years getting handed to a player who a lot of people feels has not necessarily stepped up or lived up to what the expectations are. Now, we did mention that Patrick Williams signed that deal. So along with that deal, expectations going to rise up. And I will be one of the first ones to hold Patrick Williams accountable and let him know your preseason has been mid, below average, virtually trash. Not even going to lie to you. In the game one of this preseason, in 13 minutes, Patrick Williams was 2 for 6 from the field, 0 for 2 from the three-point lines, 3 rebounds for only 4 points in game one. Okay, cool. You say the young fella is coming off an injury. He's been out of the league for some time. Allow him, just let him continue to work on some things. So in game two, with the expectation that Patrick Williams was going to come out here and put out a better performance, nah. Patrick Williams came out at 18 minutes, went 1 for 9 from the field, 0 for 4 from the three-point line, 2 rebounds for only 3 points on the night. And then it came to find out that Patrick Williams will be listed as day-to-day with a wrist jam. So that goes on and continues to add to the frustration that a lot of us Bulls fans are feeling with Patrick Williams. We know that injuries are part of the game, but with a player of his talent in his youth, we want to see him on a basketball a little bit more to see if he can fully blossom, finally. Excuse me. On a personal level, I'm done waiting on that level. I'm done waiting to see if Patrick Williams is going to finally blossom. And I'm not going to hold his hand. I encourage you to do as you please. But for me, Bobby, I'm not holding Patrick Williams' hand. We made that excuse a few years ago that DeMar DeRozan was in the way. Nah, that excuse does not fly anymore. DeMar DeRozan, yes, he had his ways. You know what I mean? He did some things, but still, while DeMar DeRozan was on the squad, we seen players like Kobe White flourish. We seen Ayo Dosunmu flourish. So well as Patrick Williams. You know what I'm saying? I understand there will be some limitations to some of the things that you could do or some of the shots that's going to be available to you while you're on the squad with a ball-dominant player like a DeMar DeRozan. But again, we've seen other guys thrive. Where's Patrick Williams? Hell, I'll even make the case for you all that Dalen Terry, the second half of last season, started to come within his own with DeMar DeRozan on the squad. So it's no more excuses for Patrick Williams. And I encourage the Chicago Bulls to sit there and really evaluate this. But my biggest question has always been, will the politics play into this? And what I mean by that is, will the money that you gave him play into, well, hey, we gave him the money. He absolutely has to play, absolutely has to start for us. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. Because if we keeping it a buck so far, guys that have had a better preseason or a more interesting preseason than Patrick Williams is two guys that are forwards on this squad that look better than him. That's Julian Phillips and Montez Buzelis. Excuse me. I am tripping. But hey, y'all get the drift. But in game one for Julian Phillips in 26 minutes, my man went 4 for 7 from the field, 1 of 3 from the three-point line for 9 points in the game. Did play more minutes than Patrick Williams, but at the same time, with more minutes, you expect more production. And then in game two, Julian Phillips went out there this past Saturday and had himself a game. In 27 minutes, 7 of 12 from the field, 5 of 8 from the three-point line, and 21 points on the night. It's been a while since I've seen Patrick Williams have 21 points on the night. Not even gonna lie to you. But I do know one thing, that the Chicago Bulls, you got to look at these young fellas. When we talk about Montez Buzelis, 21 minutes in game one, 4 for 9 from the field, 0 for 2 from the three-point line for 12 points. Okay. Not so great in game two with 23 minutes played, 1 of 9 from the field, 1 of 5 from the three-point line, had 5 points on the night, though. And the reason I've mentioned those two guys when it comes to comparison or trying to compare them to Patrick Williams is because, one, they're all forwards, and two, even though these guys, you know what I'm saying, didn't necessarily have the scoring output that was gonna, rock your world in game one, these guys still had a lot of activity out there. These guys look like they belong out there. I know Patrick Williams is capable, but where is the consistency? You can understand the inconsistency of a Montez Buzelis simply because he's a rookie. But then you jump to a guy that's now entering his second year in Julian Phillips and saying, hey, this young fella know where to be on the basketball court. This young fella is making a name for himself. You know what I'm saying? He's utilizing his skill set to be productive. That's all we need Patrick Williams to do. Utilize your skill set to be productive. But the biggest thing is when you comparing all these three, the main man that seems like the Bull keeps placing in that starting lineup is Patrick Williams. So my question for the organization is, how long do you wait to see if Patrick Williams blossoms, to see if Patrick Williams elevate his game? We know he's a solid defender. We expect him to be the three-point shooter that we know he can be, but that's not good enough anymore. That's not good enough anymore. It's not good enough for a player like Patrick Williams' ability to just be a 3-and-D guy. That's just my personal opinion. That's just is not within his skill set to just limit him to being a 3-and-D type of player. But that's kind of the role that he's kind of transforming himself into be. We wanted to see, I'll speak for myself. I wanted to see Patrick Williams be a little bit more dynamic, be a lot more aggressive. We gave him the name Passive P for a reason. We want to see aggressive P. You know what I'm saying? That's what we would like to see. So I'm questioning the Chicago Bulls organization. Like, how long do you give this young fella to get it right? Are you going to give him a few games within the season? You know what I'm saying? Let him string a couple games on. I mean, I will agree that last year before he got hurt, he was a bit more consistent. I will concede that and be fair in that regard. But we can't just keep saying, hey, we got to get this thing rolling. We got to wait. No. You know what I'm saying? I understand they might allow him some time, but how much time is too much time? You know what I mean? And I got a question for everybody that's out there listening right now. Why don't we see Patrick Williams utilize his athleticism to the extent like some of the other guys utilize their athleticism? And I'm talking about Julian Phillips and Montez Buzelis. P. Will is operating like he ain't got no athleticism. I'm seeing Julian Phillips jump out his shoes to get rebounds, jump out his shoes for big, crazy, energizing dunks that help a team grab momentum from their opponents. I'm seeing Montez Buzelis run the break, get guys open in transition, attack the basket. I'm not saying P. Will is not doing it at all, but damn, he's athletic, isn't he? Or at least we like to believe so. And I'm not saying his game has to be simply predicated on his athleticism, but damn, chime in on it. Utilize that. That can be a way to get yourself going. Slash to the basket. You get the ball in your hands, try to put the ball on somebody's head. That's all I'm saying. Those type of moments, those type of things that you see throughout the game, those help these young players get comfortable. Find ways to get yourself comfortable. I'm pretty sure Billy Donovan is not just saying, hey, P. Will, go do whatever. No, I'm pretty sure there is a game plan in place. Maybe not so much because it's preseason. Maybe they do have some things that they want to emphasize on, and work on and build on and things like that. But it's not completely, just a free-for-all for Patrick Williams, is it? I hope not. But the biggest question is, why don't this man utilize his athleticism better? Why don't he utilize his athleticism better? 6'8". We seen him go from a guy that misses a lot of dunks to where we was like, bro, you at least you got to get that together. Then he started hitting those more often. But now hone in on that. Open up some stuff for yourself. Get the free baskets. Get to the free throw line. And I ain't saying you got to go and have 8, 9, 10 attempts a game, but let's see it a little more often. Let's see a little more often. Because, again, how long are we going to sit here and wait? How long are we going to sit here and wait? That's a problem for me. That is a major problem for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm looking at other guys that's right there, just right around the vicinity of Patrick Williams. And these guys look like they ready to come out, play, and help the team win the games. I'm not saying it's completely over for Patrick Williams, but damn, step up. Let's go. Let's go. It's time to hit the ground running. And listening to Patrick Williams over the offseason, he said he wants to be more of a vocal leader. These are his words, not mine. So show it. Show it. Show us what you're really made of, because right now I can't fault people for not being a believer in you. I can't fault people for trying to find constant replacements for you. I can't fault people for wanting to trade Patrick Williams. There's no, it's like you can defend it to a degree, but then you look at it and you try to think logically and be like, damn, bro. What else more you want me to do, P. Will? What else you want? What more do you want us to do, Brody? I say the Chicago Bulls, look, you allow him some time. At the end of the day, you allow him some time. But if it comes into the season, you see Montes Buzell is starting to get a little bit more comfortable. You seeing Julian Phillips getting a little more comfortable. Hell, you see Julian Phillips looking good tonight. You got to start putting that man's name down. That's all I'm saying. And the Bulls are dealing with a lot right now when it comes to the young players and some injuries that's starting to stack up, some little minor stuff here and there to where guys are going to be day to day. But I would still be looking at the guys who's being aggressive. I would still look at the guys who's, trying to establish themselves or who's being more consistent. That's why I always come back to the number one thing I asked earlier. Will politics play into this? I seen it happen plenty of times around the league. Guys getting paid, not necessarily the best player, to play, but those guys that still getting that bag, they seeing a lot of time, no matter how ass they are, because the ownership wants to see what their reward is. You know what I'm saying? They trying to say, hey, I gave you this money, now reward me with some good play. Understood. But if you're telling me as the front office you want to win every single game, a legit question to ask right now is Patrick Williams in the starter line giving the Chicago Bulls the best chance to win? It's one that a lot of people will say no. He's not. A lot of people will say that. There'll be a few in there and be like, hey, well, we can see. We still can give him time. Fair enough. We'll give him time. But again, how much time is too much time? Because the man been here for years now. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. All right. But that is it for me today, ladies and gentlemen. Just wanted to go ahead and give y'all that thoughts. Make sure y'all tune in for tonight's Bulls versus Bucks game. That's gonna be a game that's gonna be fun to watch. We're gonna see what the Bulls are gonna be made of. I believe CDubb will be available for a live call. Y'all stay on the look on that. But that's it. Hit the like button, subscribe before you get up out of here. If you want to be a part of our mailbag episodes, call in, state your name, leave your take. 773-242-9219 is the number to call. And then you'll be on one of the episodes. But thank y'all so much. Make sure you always see red. Y'all already know. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one for sure.
Cognac. Gang.